All right, I went 3-2 last week. I'm still somehow 16-19 on the season, which great for me.
Creeping back up there. You're creeping back up.
Not super excited about this week's slate of games.
Oh,
so I have the Cardinals minus 3.5 against the Cardinals. Excuse me, I have the Vikings minus 3.5 against the Cardinals. Don't feel overly good about that. We didn't get to talk about this.
Sound like you didn't really sugarcoat it.
We will talk about the Vikings at some point, maybe on our Sunday recap show. The Vikings offense kind of frustrating to watch right now. Like, they don't really have much pushing the ball down the field, all of that stuff. I still just think the Cardinals.
I share my Vikings stats.
Still don't think the Cardinals are very good. Yeah.
I've littered this podcast with stats, but
it's beautiful.
So in the first half, the Vikings are first in success rate, their offense, first in success rate and 7th in EPA per play, 8th in EPA per drive. In the second half, they're 20th in success rate, 28th in EPA per play. Like once they get outside that opening script, they just fall apart, which is just
so that gap. Also, the success rate and the EPA per play, they have no explosive plays.
Yeah,
they have 0 explosive plays. Kirk Cousins not pushing the ball on the field at all. That being said, I'm taking the Vikings minus 2.5 against the Cardinals this week.
You're welcome.
I have the Falcons minus 4.5. They're at home. I think the Panthers are still pretty bad. Like I don't feel good about that, but I still think that the Panthers had that one good week. I don't feel
more
great
PJ Walker magic. You don't think
that might be a 1 week thing. There's a chance I just go 0-5 this week. I have the Titans minus 1.5 against the Texans. I think that the Titans are better than the Texans, so 1.5 it feels just fine to me. I have the Niners minus 1.5 against the Rams. We watched that Niners defense last time these two teams played. I feel pretty good about that. And for all the reasons we talked about with the Packers defense, I think 10.5 is a lot of points. I'm taking the Packers plus 10.5 against the Bills.
I'm not. That's my first one. I'm lead off. I went 2-3 last week. I talked myself out of a lot of good ones, so that was cool. 19-16. So still above 500, so we're okay. But I am also going Packers plus 10.5. Anytime I get 10.5 points for Aaron Rodgers, I don't care how disappointing this Packers offense has been. I don't care how many guys are botching. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers isn't pushing the ball. I'm still betting on him. Plus 10.5, like you just said. It's a lot of points. I'm going Patriots minus 1.5 at the Jets. So that streak is going to
13 straight.
Yeah, 13 straight apparently. So, but I just think I think Belichick against Breece Hall's out now. I do like Michael Carter. They traded for James Robinson. Elijah Vera Tucker is now gone. Tore his triceps, so that's a huge loss. I think the Patriots, once again, the passing downs is going to be able to have their way. I also think I'm going to go with the Titans minus 1.5, just like you, at the Texans. I'm going Dolphins minus 3.5 at the Lions. Some of that shine's fallen off on the Lions. I think this Dolphins team is a weird one a little bit, but I still think they can calm an offense. I think against the Lions defense that's struggling to stop a lot of teams, I think they're going to be cooking. Then this one, I have no idea. I don't know why. Just felt right. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just so mad at the Jags, but I'm going Broncos plus 3.5 at the Jaguars in London. Sure. Why not? But this is a bet on the Broncos defense. I'm taking the points, and whoever was the dog in this game, that's who I was taking. I just think this Jaguars team does a lot of things, but they just also aren't great. They're just more of an average team that's had some bad luck. I think the Broncos defense will keep them in this game, so I'm going to go plus 3.5.
Something of a home game for Shad Khan. Right?
Something of a home game, right? Jacksonville East.
That's what they call London, right? Jacksonville, very, very far northeast. Right, there you go. All right, guys, 4-1 for me last week, 23-12. What?
No big deal.
No fucking big killing deal it
on the season. Yeah, feeling good. Hopefully, I keep it rolling here. My favorite pick that I made this week, at least as of maybe 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Or so, was Bengals minus 3.5. Yeah, Bengals minus 3.5. I was like, this was the no doubter of the week. And so I'm rethinking that. I'm scrapping that. I replaced that right now with Giants plus 2.5 at the Seahawks. I think even without Evan Neal, what they are able to do on the ground that you guys have broken down so well this season is going to be something that ultimately is too much for the Seahawks and at least keeps this game within a score. So I'll go ahead and take the points on the Giants. We do have one unanimous pick, guys, and it is a pick that we made unanimously against this team last week, and it was a loss for us. Give me the Titans also, minus 1.5 against the Texans. Everything that you guys just broke down, really, really interesting, and I think is part of the reason why they've been so good against teams that are clearly worse than them. Houston falls into that group of teams, and so I think they can keep that rolling this week. Our unanimous picks have been pretty good. I actually went back and looked at it today. Our unanimous picks have been pretty good so far this season. The caveat there is that most of them have been the Chiefs. So... a little bit different.
If it works, it works.
But hey, our unanimous picks haven't been bad, so we'll go ahead and take the Titans. Love the 49ers. You said it when you guys were talking about this, Robert. I just think the Rams are going to have a whole lot of trouble being able to protect Matthew Stafford against this 49ers pass rush. 49ers -1.5. Nate, I'm going with you on the Broncos. I feel this like, I don't know. I'm getting more than a field goal. This team has looked sort of out of sorts the last few weeks. I'll go ahead and take 3.5 on the Broncos. And then, as great as we all felt about Justin Fields on Monday night, this is a comeback to earth game for the Bears. I'll take the Cowboys laying the 9.5. I think this could be a very similar game for the Cowboys to what we saw last week against the Lions, where the offense doesn't quite go gangbusters, but they don't let the Bears' offense do anything. They win this like 24-6, similar to what they did to the Lions. They go into their bye next week, and then they come out in week 10 with Dak really ready to get things going.
It's a sleeper hold game. You know, when they
I couldn't bring,
it's 1, 2. That's what this game is. You just knock them out.
I couldn't bring myself to pick it. Either way, I couldn't bring myself to pick it. It's like I don't feel good about the plus 9.5, but I also don't want to root for the minus 9.5.
Yeah.